Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. In 2008, I had just moved out of my family's home to go pursue my PhD, and my very first month there, panic broke out in the markets, and gold and silver crashed. I think gold from 1,000 to a low of 700, silver from a high of 22 to a low of 8 something, if I remember correctly. And I wanted to take advantage of the markets. I think I had about 1,500 saved up at that moment in time, and I had a coin in mind that I wanted to buy. In 1986, Japan made a 100,000 yen gold commemorative coin, and the reason I liked that coin was that it was selling for barely over the spot price of gold, but it had 100,000 yen face value on it. And so if anything went wrong with gold, you could, in theory, go to a bank in Japan and trade it in for 100,000 yen. In theory, at least, right? Which is way better than other gold coins, which would not have any face value on them, right? But at this time, this was 2008, you got to remember, we didn't have those big corporate coin dealers. I guess AppMax did exist, but it was small. They certainly didn't do foreign coins. I don't know if you could find such a foreign coin on AppMax nowadays. So I mostly do mining stocks, so I haven't really looked there for a while. But I went to eBay, I went to other markets like that, and didn't find any 100,000 yen coins. But I bought, if I remember correctly, a bunch of war nickels, 1942 to 1945. And the reason I still love them today, by the way. And the reason for that is they often go for a negative premium, sometimes significantly negative. Now you might say, well, what if you need to sell them? Well, here's the thing. I don't buy silver with the idea that tomorrow it goes up 3%, I'm going to sell it. I buy it with the idea that someday I might need that silver, either for industry or because the world actually goes back to a silver standard. And if we get to that day, I'm going to care more about how many ounces of silver I actually have, right? And so think about it. If you expect the cost of silver to rise faster than the cost of refining silver from war nickels, from 40% silver coins, from whatever source, right? Then you might as well buy the cheapest form of silver, right? Because you're kind of shorting the mining costs of silver and going long on the silver metal itself, right? In a way, it's kind of like that, right? So I bought a lot of war nickels. I also bought a lot of foreign silver. A lot of people don't like foreign silver coins because they don't know what percentage. Everybody's familiar with American silver coins, are 90%, 40%. Even the war nickels, most people are more familiar with them than a foreign silver coin from a country they've never been to, right? But again, I care about how many ounces I have on the other end of the tunnel, right? But after I had finished shopping, I spent the whole week doing that. It felt almost like a part-time job to me to go look for these deals. And after I had spent most of my money, the gold coin shows up. I was so upset. And I'm still haunted by that experience. And I know that because every time I have to make commitments, like for example, I'm an adjunct professor now, and I always feel like right after I sign on the dotted line of a contract, another better one shows up, and there's a time conflict of some sort, right? I also behave like this in my dating life as well, too much, right? And I have a hard time balancing when to hold out and when to sign up, right? I really do. At any time where I can't just take everything, right? Or better yet, with my eating habits, right? When I do intermittent fasting, something interesting happens when you fast 17, 18 hours. Food tastes exceptionally good at the end of a 17, 18-hour fast. The problem is it's only the first couple of bites that taste really good. I often have a hard time deciding what to break to give you an idea of how hard it is for me to decide what to break the fast is. Sometimes it's so hard to decide that by the time I do it, an 18-hour fast becomes a 20-hour fast. It's kind of a blessing in disguise in that way, right? And then it dawned on me that when I did the calculation, in a lifetime, you don't get that many opportunities to break 18, 20-hour fasts, right? You only get like 20,000 of them, right? And that's just kind of sad because I really love the way food tastes at the end of a 20-hour fast. I really do. And unfortunately, once I break it, I wish I could have had something else, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.